back in stunning Kiev, Ukraine for round 2 of the 2013 F1H2O UIM World Championship. Kiev is a true gem, a city that's been around more than 1,000 years, dotted with majestic buildings, eclectic architecture, and magnificent churches that stand as a testament to the richness of Kiev's Orthodox Christian history and heritage. It's also a city with a young vibe, with chic cafes, bars, shops, and restaurants. Kiev has become one of the most prized fixtures on the F1H2O calendar. The race weekend includes F4 races and the President Cup match race, in which boats are pitted against each other in thrilling elimination rounds. Crowds turned out in their tens of thousands, and even the governor of Kiev province, Anatoly Prizhaznyuk, got a taste of being in an F1 machine. An F1 boat is like no other. A lightweight catamaran hull. It takes precision driving to keep the boat flying over the surface of the water. An F1 boat corners like it's on rails, producing up to a whopping 5.5 Gs. It's got a two-stroke, 2.5-liter, 425 horsepower, state-of-the-art engine that can catapult a driver to 160 kilometers an hour in just 4 seconds. The pilots have to cram and squeeze into a tiny cockpit. No air conditioning, no ventilation. They have to negotiate tight technical circuits, looking out through a tiny windshield, which is mostly useless as it's sprayed over constantly in the other boat's wash for nearly 40 laps, going round and round like a washing machine. Why?
Adrenaline, speed.
The power of the engine is like wow, you're just flying all the time and you just deep in the corner and then the straight you just fly, so it's a wonderful feeling.
And the G-force, huge, right?
For sure the best feeling is when we have condition of rough water, that is the boat that is driving you and not you that is driving the boat.
Speed, G-forces and crashes.
The feeling when you hit the gas pedal, no matter how long you've done this, for me 20 years, when you get in the boat for the first time in the weekend and you hit the throttle, it's feeling like no other. There's no machine in the world that goes that fast and turns that hard. So
completely crazy. It's the boat fly, and with the rough in the turn it's very, very difficult, but we like it.
There are 17 drivers from 8 teams competing in the Grand Prix of Ukraine, including 2 new drivers, Bartek Marsalik in Singa Racing Team and Thomas Walston in Team Azerbaijan. One of the big favorites here is Sami Selio. He won this race last year, and he ran a long, tough race in the season opener in Brazil, taking first place. He is riding a high and has been a world champion twice, but the title has eluded him for the past 2 years. Those 2 years belong to the 2-time defending world champion, Alex Carella of Team Qatar. With his quiet determination and precision driving, he is definitely the force to be reckoned with. But Celio and Carella's biggest threat isn't the racer with the most wins, Francesco Cantando, nor is it the three-time world runner-up Daniel Kamzi, or even last year's world runner-up veteran Philippe Chiappe. It's a guy who's yet to win a race and has only one podium to his name, Sean Torrente. He's a teammate to Carella, but a rival to Celio. Torrente and Celio have a history of rivalry that culminated in a spectacular collision at the Chinese Grand Prix in 2012, which left both drivers out of the race and led to Torrente's suspension from racing. Last year on this very course, he led the race until a restart with just 3 laps to the checkered flag, only to be left in everyone's wake with a breakdown.
Well, definitely handed him a victory. I passed him clean, led the whole race, and then, had that issue. But Sammy, he's a good racer. He's a world champion. He deserves to be respected. There's no doubt about that. However, as far as a person, that's a different story. The only thing he does better than racing is whine. So let him whine. I'll continue to drive my boat, and then we'll see what happens.
With his suspension lifted, Torrente was as tenacious as ever in the 2013 season opener in Brasilia, pushing to the limit, doing everything he could to get his first Grand Prix win. But Celio used his pole advantage well, staying ahead of the pack. Torrente got his first podium, runner-up, ahead of teammate Carella. If Torrente can rein in his ferocity and keep the boat running, he's a big threat.
Thinking big picture, we want to win the championship. Yes, we want to win the race, but we want to win the championship. And that's what I'm told every time I get in the boat now. So, like I said, that's the goal. Alex has 2 in a row. Qatar team needs to make it 3 in a row, and I'd love to be the 3rd one in a row.
I like to be here, and I really like the place and the race course here. And of course, I always finish here in the podium, so I hope to keep it like that and fight for the win here as well.
The Ukraine Grand Prix circuit on Lake Vyshgorod is a tight, short, and challenging one, with 2 right-handers, 4 sharp left-hand turns, and waves reverberating off the surrounding walls, making this one of the most challenging courses on the tour. Qualifying is divided into 3 rounds to determine the starting lineup. In Q1, boats have 20 minutes to qualify, with 6 boats to be eliminated. The 11 remaining boats advance to Q2, where another 5 are eliminated, setting the stage for the Q3 shootout, where the remaining 6 boats get 2 laps each and the course all to themselves as they battle it out for the all-important pole position. Conditions were rough with choppy waters and high winds for qualifying, making it even more challenging for drivers. Marit Stromoy of Team Nautica and Bartek Marsalek fought it out for the final place in Q2, the Polish driver missing the cutoff by less than 0.3 of a second. Celio was fastest in Q1, ahead of Torrente. The other drivers who didn't make it, Xiong, Roms, Walston, Lagianella, and Osculati. Accomplished drivers Francesco Cantando and Ahmed Al-Hamali were uncharacteristically off the pace. Stromoy also struggling with the conditions. The fight for the cutoff took place between teammates Yusuf Al-Rubayan and Duarte Benavente of F1 GC Atlantic team, and also Jonas Anderson of Team Azerbaijan, with Al-Rubayan coming out trumps. This time, Torrente was faster than Celio, with Chiappe impressive in 3rd. Q3, 6 boats remain. First out was Kuwaiti Yusuf Al-Rubayan, who's been improving with every season. He was trumped by Carella, who posted the fastest time of the weekend so far, but with still 4 drivers to go, he seemed unsatisfied with his lap time. Then came Daniel Kamzi, but he was unable to beat Carella. Chiappe, in his new, more boat, was tearing around the course, storming into first place with a blistering time of 46.39 seconds. Celio goes out next, all eyes on the defending Ukraine Grand Prix champion. He holds a perfect line through the curves, pushing the boat to the limit, barely even touching the water. Chiap looks on nervously.
Not so bad, but I made two mistakes in the
45-52.
So number one? Number two.
Celio has it with a time of 45.52 seconds. The last man was Torrente. Can he knock out the Finn? He gives it his all, but in the end he has to settle for third place, unable to beat Chiap or Celio. Celio once again takes pole position. Carella starts in fourth position, followed by Al-Khamzi in fifth. Impressive finish for Al-Rubayan in sixth. Al-Hamali starts at a lowly 10th. The President Cup match race is always a crowd favorite. Drivers go head-to-head in a best-of-3 showdown on an alternating long-short circuit that is raced right in front of the grandstands. The big surprise in round one, Maritz Stromoy eliminating Sean Torrente in a photo finish. After some thrilling matchups, the field was reduced to 4 boats, with Celio taking on Anderson and Al-Khamzi versus Cantando in the semis. Celio and Al-Khamzi made it to the final in style. In a third place shootout, Anderson got the better of Cantando, who encountered mechanical problems. In the final, it was a thrilling battle between Celio and Al-Khamzi, Celio defeating his Abu Dhabi rival in 2 straight races. So, Sammy Celio is the 2013 President Cup Match Race Champion. Al-Khamzi runner-up, Anderson third. With final preparations complete, the third Grand Prix of Ukraine was about to get underway, pitting 17 drivers from 8 teams. Conditions were calm, waters were smooth, a perfect day for racing.
I don't know, it's not the same condition, and the radar is flat now, but in the rough, not bad for me. And it's the first race for my boat, it's a new moor, and it's incredible, very different to my old boat, and I'm happy for the first time.
6th position is not bad to start. I hope to finish from top 5, which is good for me in first season to be in the top 5.
The starting lineup, Celio in pole, followed by Chiap and Torrente, Carella 4th, Anderson 7, Cantando 9, Al-Hamali 10, youngsters Zhong and Roms 13 and 14, newcomer Walston is in 15th. The boats complete their parade lap before the thousands who gathered to watch what has become one of the most exciting fixtures on the F1H2O Tour, as teams and drivers nervously await the final few seconds until the green flag goes down. There's the 30-second warning. The race is on. Celio leads the pack to the commitment buoy. Sean Torrente and Philip Chiap going neck and neck in front of Alex Carella as boats roar down the starting straight. Great start from Al-Rubayan as he nudges ahead of Al-Khamzi, who's passed by Carella on his port side. No surprises there as Celio is first to the turn, followed by Chiap, Torrente and Carella, with Al-Khamzi back far enough to cut in close to the turn. Francesco Cantando chases Anderson on his left. Torrente will be gunning for another podium here as he gives chase to Celio and Chiap. Al-Khamzi in 5th tries to keep up with Carella as the capacity Ukrainian crowd watches on. Young Philip Roms of Matt Kroc team overtakes Ronaldo Oscolati and also Liu Zhong of China CTIC team. Celio leads the race, the double world champion holding off a spirited Chiap, who's yet to win a Grand Prix, with Torrente, Alcamzi and Carella completing the top 5. Coming around Boy 2, Marsalik has a close shave with Stromoy. Anderson keeps a very tight line going into that turn, trying to cut the gap to move up closer to the top 5, but Cantando and Al Rubayan beat him to it. Al Rubayan trying to capitalize on his top 6 qualifying position as the Kuwaiti from F1 Atlantic team, but Anderson overtakes him on his port side, dropping the Kuwaiti back down a spot. The battle between Celio and Chiap heats up, the determined Frenchman refusing to let the gap grow as Celio continues his usual all-or-nothing racing style. At the end of lap 1, it's Celio, then Chiap, followed by Torrente, Alcamzi, Carella, Cantando, Anderson, and Al Rubayan. Cantando, who's won more races than any other racer here, is going all out in his Blaze boat, keeping the pressure on defending world champion Carella. Ahmed Al-Hamili trailing in 9th position, still getting his bearings after missing most of last year due to illness. He gives chase to Al Rubayan. In 4th place, Alcamzi, followed by Carella, then Cantando 6th, Anderson 7th, and Al Rubayan in 8th. In 3rd position, Sean Torrente, back racing after suspension, coming off his first podium in Brazil, looking for another. Celio is lapping back marker and teammate Philip Roms on the inside. This is a short circuit, and success will depend on how well the lead drivers can weave their way through the field of lapped boats. Celio keeps up his blistering pace, coming up on Valerio Lagianella of Singa Racing Team. Lap 7, Philip Chiap is racing hard, and he has had no problems adapting to his brand new, more designed and built boats. Sean Torrente is pushing on Chiap, but the experienced Frenchman holds off the Torrente onslaught for now as their duel goes into yet another lap. Torrente's teammate and world champion Alex Carella fighting to move up the field so he can at least have a shot at the podium here. Carella has to look out behind him though, as he has 2 top drivers breathing down his neck, Cantando and Anderson. In 2nd place, Chiap now following Celio through the field of back markers as he continues to look for his chance to pounce on the Finn. Number 18, Marsalik, is unlucky, out of the race due to mechanical trouble. Here's a replay of the start. Celio uses his pole advantage well, while Chiap and Torrente go neck and neck in the drag race to the first turn buoy. Carella and Al Rubayan leave Alcamzi in their wake. Celio first to the turn, Chiap beats Torrente there. Alcamzi comes in tight to try and pip Carella on the inside and move into 4th. But the Team Abu Dhabi driver is passed by Carella, who takes 4th spot early on. Back to the race, positions are the same. And Celio seems to be slowing down. He has an electrical problem, giving the lead to Chiap, as Torrente also overtakes his Finnish arch rival to move into 2nd position, pushing the Finn down to 3rd. Chiap now leads. Matt Kroc team does not look happy. Celio has slowed down by about 100 kilometers an hour, but he's still racing, with enough of a lead to perhaps take him through to at least get some points on the board. With Celio bumped down, it's a 2-horse race between Chiap and Torrente. Both drivers now so close to winning their first Grand Prix race. Torrente is pushing so hard, Chiap is going so fast to stave him off that the 2 now start lapping some of the stragglers for a 2nd time. The tough part from here is being able to navigate the heavy traffic on the circuit, something Chiap is so far doing exceptionally well, with just 16 laps left in the race. That will show you how short this circuit is, as the 6th place boat gets lapped by Chiap, who is flawless. Huge battle for 4th spot as Carella takes on Alkamzi. The 2-round boy number 5 with Alkamzi keeping his lead. Then through the right-hander on boy number 6 as Carella closes the gap. With his inside advantage and superior speed, Carella finally passes Alkamzi on boy 1 as the world champ now sets his sights on Celio in 3rd. Torrente still in 2nd, giving chase to Chiap as he too laps Cantando, giving his all to try and reduce the gap with the Frenchman up ahead. With 25 of 38 laps completed, Chiap is in complete control, loving his new boat as he laps Osculati of Team Nautica and Benavente of F1GC Atlantic yet again. As Carella closes in on Celio for 3rd spot, Chiap is coming up on them from behind. You don't see the likes of Carella and Celio getting lapped often. Carella pushing Celio all the way, trying to make his move on the fin. With 10 laps left, Chiap now moving in to lap Celio and Carella, who are locked in their own battle and can do nothing other than ignore the Frenchman as he zooms past, now way beyond their reach. China CTIC team manager Eric Chan stoically looks on as Chiap looks insurmountable out there. There we see Chiap overtake Celio, but the Finn should be more concerned with Alex Carella coming up behind him in 4th spot. Now Torrente tries to lap Celio too, but Celio is not making it easy for him. There's a history of bad blood between these two drivers, and it seems to show out there as Celio is suddenly spurred on by his dislike for Torrente. Experienced Swede Jonas Andersson in 7th position, trying to pass Alkamzi to move up a spot into 6th. Torrente still trying to lap Celio, but Celio holds him off. Torrente gives up on it and lets his teammate Carella through so he can do battle with the Finn and put some points on the board for Team Qatar. Good teamwork there from Carella and Torrente. Now the chase is on as Carella tries to take that podium place from Celio's grasp in the final lap of the race, lap 37. Carella is giving his all to overtake Celio, but time's running out. Can he do it? Can he take that podium spot? A lap ahead, Chiap wins his first ever Grand Prix! Carella and Celio battling for 3rd place. Carella and Celio now head to head. Carella has it! He's overtaken Celio! With just a few 100 meters left, what a performance! And his teammate Torrente, runner-up. Celebrations from China CTIC team, well-deserved victory for them. And another great result for Torrente. The final results, Chiap, Torrente, Carella, Celio, Cantando 5th, then Andersson and Alkamzi, and a good 8th place finish from Al Rubayan. The man of the day, Philip Chiap, congratulating his crew who've done a superb job here. That puts Torrente on top of the world standings, just a point ahead of Celio, with Chiap moving up to 3rd, Carella 4th, Alkamzi 5th. And what a performance from the new Moore Hull, winning on its maiden race.
I'm very happy. First race with a new boat. For my boat builder, it's incredible. For my mechanic, he works a lot for this result. For me, 10 years, more 18 Grand Prix, and no, I'm very, very happy. For my team, for me, and incredible day.
I was right on Philippe the whole time. He was driving a great race. I had a couple opportunities. I was there. We were lapping all the way up to Sammy. And I get to Sammy and he decides, you know what, I'd rather wreck than let you by because he knows the points lead, okay? So he almost took me out and I got on the radio, I said, I ain't taking a chance, let Alex go. If Alex passes him, I know we're in the lead either way. And I had faith in my teammate. Well, I don't know why. I mean, he's only the two-time world champion, so he went out and he did it. And that's what it's about, man. It's about being smart. I know I have the talent. I know I can be the fastest guy, but I got to be smart. I can't be crazy. I got to be relaxed or somewhat relaxed.
Okay, it was a good race. Yes, I didn't start good. I turned in fifth position after I had to fight until the last boy for Pastani, and really at the last lap Sami for finish on the podium. And I really enjoyed this race. I really enjoyed it so much.
At the end of round 2, the team standings: Qatar team on top, Mad Croc second, China CTIC team up in third. That brings to a close round 2 in Kiev. See you in round 3 when the F1H2O UIM World Championship heads back to Liuzhou, China in October.